Hi, my name is Latrice Bryant. I'm a student at Grand Canyon University. My class is MMS 570. My professor is Dr. Karen Epley. And this video is Person-Centered Training and Conflict Resolution. Now let me put my glasses on so I'll be able to see. So we'll first start with defining what is person-centered planning. Person-centered planning is planning that is a collaborative process that places the student at the center of the educational transition decisions. I actually like this one. The PCP, which is the person-centered planning approach, focuses on the student's strengths, interests, and preferences, and future goals. And under federal law, it requires that the transition planning for students be focused and begin at the age of 16. The next one, we have to explain what is the purpose of person-centered planning and why it is important, including the decision and research that supports person-centered planning as a best practice, and how it adopts tenets of the Christian worldview perspective, which is CE, the College of Educational and Academic Program Competencies. So the purpose of the person-centered planning is to empower students to take an active role in shaping their future. We actually do this at my school. We have a transitions group, and it helps the students go out into the world, and they basically volunteer at to do food preparation at animal shelters, sorting clothes at different organizations that donate clothes as well. And research has found that when students are actively involved, their IEP and their IEP process and planning, they demonstrate an improved self-determination. And I also think that it boosts their confidence as well. The next one is explain how the use of the PCP supports student-driven transition planning. Well, it ensures that the transition goals such as employment, education, independent living, community participation are based on what the student truly wants. I think that's very important. We're actually teaching my students in the classroom how to make sure that they know how to budget their money. We're about to take them to the banks so that they can start opening their own banking accounts. And we're actually teaching them how to do budgets, so that they'll know once they're out in the real world that they have to pay bills and maybe pay their rent or pay their mortgage if they can live independently. And on this, we're actually asked to outline the steps that will be executed when a person-centered planning is done successfully. Steps in the successful person-centered planning. Number one would be preparation. That's where you gather relevant data, academic records that you can get from the school, behavioral data, and student interest inventories. Number two is student voice first. That's when you begin meeting and inviting the students to share their strengths and interests and future goals. Vision development. Vision development is actually done as a collaborative, and it helps have a long-term vision of the life of the student after they finish school. Our school actually goes up to age 22, so the students get a lot of time to really figure out what they'll be able to do when they finish high school, and we work with the parents as well. Also, we have identify strengths and needs as number 4. Set measurable goals. That's very important because when you have transitions, you want to make sure that the students aren't overwhelmed and it's something that they actually can do and that they're not intimidated by it. Number 6, action plan responsibilities. You want to determine who will provide the support for each student and how the progress will be monitored. And number 7, ongoing review. So you should have a regular revisit and revise the plan and how the student is growing or regressing. And hopefully they are growing and they're moving into progressing in the process, is what I'm trying to say. So I also said, describe all the people who will be a part of the transition meeting, including their roles and what information and data will be contributed in the meeting. So who will be attending? Number one, we need the student, of course. Number two, we will need the parents involved. Number three will be the special education teacher and the case manager, because that's what I learned, that special education teachers are also called case managers because we handle the cases of the students. If you have general education teachers, they'll also be involved. Our school is all special education, so we don't generally have general education teachers in our school, but I guess for schools that do, that will work in that regards. You also have the school counselor or the transition specialist, and they're the one who prepare the career assessments and post-secondary planning information for when they go out into the world and want to be grown adults and get jobs and things. And the administration, if they're needed, our administration is always included. We're a private school, so our principal is actually a director, the vice principal is assistant director. They're involved in every process along the way. And also, if needed, there needs to be outside agencies to be involved in the process. Well, my link here to this video is on YouTube. It should be under Person-Centered Planning and Conflict Resolution under Latrice Bryant. I thank you so much for listening to me. Hi, Dr. Ebley. Have a good day. Bye-bye.